and welcome to another episode, another long-awaited episode of Tamara Unfiltered. Now, I'm supposed to be upgrading my SEO and I'm supposed to open this podcast with something along the lines of welcome to the Tamara Unfiltered podcast for your mental health and well-being or something like that. I don't know. Do you know if you say stuff, it gets picked up by Google? Anyway, whatever. I'll figure that out next time. Hello, you gorgeous people. How are you? I hope you're well. Now, this is a very quick off-the-cuff podcast, just mainly because, well, we haven't done one for a while and I think we need to catch up. And because I just have to tell you that we are finally there. We are over the last hurdle. The NMN is here. It is literally, well, it's not with me, but it's in Manchester, actually, as you may know, with the lovely One Self Wellbeing. They are managing all the picking, packing and posting for me. Anyway, I just wanted to catch you up on the situation because there is so much going on. And this is not just about NMN. I have some super exciting news. So if you are a Happy Gang ex-member, lover, wishing it was coming back, stick around. You're going to like what I've got to tell you. Now, I just want to talk about the NMN because honestly, getting over the last hurdle was mad. Most of you will know we've just had this Mercury retrograde. I don't think there was anybody, not one of us, who got through this retrograde unscathed. It has been honestly traumatic. Half the stuff that's gone on, I honestly can't tell you. It's not my story to tell. I cannot talk about it right now, but just know I've been dealing with some really awful shit. I'm not entirely sure how I've got through the last couple of weeks, but I have. And I don't know, I just wanted to remind you, I guess, that whenever you're trying to do anything of any value, it's probably not going to be easy. In fact, I'd say the harder the journey, probably the better the outcome. And the worst thing about all of this was when I was in the depths of all this horrible stuff that was happening, I just kind of, it all kind of came to a head and a peak on the day that the actual NMN arrived in the UK. And it was just crazy how it all worked out. And I was very overwhelmed on the day that was supposed to be probably one of the best days ever. After everything we've been through trying to get it over here, it turned into one of the worst days of my life. And I spent most of the day crying in my bed. So, and that was not because of anything to do with NMN. That's just because that's how life goes sometimes. But yeah, I just knew when I was kind of in the depths of that God, this NMN's going to be successful because there was no way I'd be going through all of that for it to not be. So we have the NMN. Unfortunately, I didn't make all the sales I thought I was going to make. And it got to the last minute when I had to make the last payment. And honestly, I don't know where we got up to in the story on the last podcast, but I was struggling to get the rest of this money together. And then by some magic, my best friend lent me the money. Now, I don't know if this is evil or genius, but I've actually used all the other NMN money, the other affiliate money to actually pay for this NMN. Now, I just want to talk about that quickly because I've been a little bit sad this month for many reasons, but one of them because you guys are still buying Viva's NMN, which I understood whilst I didn't have it, whilst it wasn't in the UK and we were doing the pre-order. I get it, but I've got it now and I have a better product. And I have worked so hard to bring it to you that I am just literally begging you to please give me a try. We actually have 20% off. I personally, as I was saying before, I think one of the reasons Viva is able to do it so cheap is because they obviously have a lesser product. There is only so cheap I can sell this product. However, we do have 20% off, which is probably the maximum we can actually offer off of it. But we've got 20% off this weekend because I really want you guys to give it a try. Because honestly, last week, I think there was one day last week where I had sold in one day like 8 bottles for Viva and I hadn't even sold one of my own. And it's just been a little bit, I don't know, I guess you gotta laugh, but it's been a little bit disheartening. So please stop buying from Viva. Give my NMN a try. Use my discount code. It will be in the bio thing of here. And just let me know how you're getting on. I've actually had, obviously now we've got the NMN, people are trying it, people are starting to see like how it's affecting them. And I've had quite a few people message me. Now I've had some stuff that obviously couldn't share. And then I've had some stuff that I just really want to share because it was so amazing. First of all, Farai, who some of you may know, she's from Divine Consciousness. Now, she's a wonderful woman. She's another woman like me. She just does a hell of a lot. She's got a lot of kids, got a husband. She's got a lot going on in her life. Anyway, she actually bought some NMN when I was doing the pre-order. And then she messaged me last week and she was just like, Tamara, can does the NMN work like within a week? She was like, I've just realised that I've got so much energy. She said she'd taken her kids swimming like 2 days in a row and they'd been out somewhere else, and she'd just basically be doing all this stuff that she wouldn't normally do or wouldn't normally have the energy for. And she also said that she'd run out of her pre-workout because she's a gym bunny. Said she'd run out of her pre-workout, but had taken the NMN and was absolutely fine. She said she didn't even need her pre-workout, so she's not going to take it anymore. And I just thought, my God, that is so amazing, because obviously I always say I feel like the NMN would work really well for the people who actually, you know, work out and do that kind of stuff. But I obviously don't do that. But to be able to see other people's results who actually do that is just really encouraging and positive. So yeah, she's not using her pre-workout anymore, and she said she feels like she just got herself back, her energy back, which is exactly how I felt when I started taking this, which is why I've done all of this, simply because it's enabled me to do so much. And the bad thing is, God, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching the podcast, you're probably thinking, God, Tamara looks a bit of a state. Yeah, I fucking do. I look diabolical. The irony of starting a wellness company and it making me very fucking unwell is not lost on me, honestly. But I have just literally been under it right now. But even though I'm under it and there's so much going on, I feel like it's the NMN that's actually powering all of this. I mean, if you think back to the beginning, how bad life had got and how I was just doing nothing, and now, you know, we've got the new NMN and everything's back to working properly again, and I'm, you know, cooking for my kids and keeping the house in check, and I don't know, I'm just back on my shit and I feel so good. And this is, you know, half the reason I fell in love with it and why I wanted to bring it to you guys, because I think, you know, most of you who follow me, we're all similar, we're all, you know, in the same boat, same age, and we're going through the same sorts of things. And this, honestly, for everything that I've been going through, perimenopause and all of that, I don't know, it's just been a genuine game changer. Anyway, so it's helping Farah the way it helped me, and I'm so happy. And the other day, Stacey called me. Now, I gave her a bottle the last time I got my hair done, which was literally like 3 days ago. God, if you're watching again on YouTube, you can see I went a little bit short. It's a little bit Dora the Explorer. But anyway, went to get my hair done and I took her a bottle. And because she's really honest, she will always give an honest opinion. Anyway, so she rang me yesterday and she was like, I forgot to take it the first day. She said, I'll be honest, I forgot to take it. And she said, but I've taken it today. And she said, I've just realised. She said, I haven't had my lunch. She said, Paige asked me, her daughter, like what she wanted for lunch. And she said nothing. She had no lunch. This is probably the number one thing that people notice with the NMN, the fact that it's an appetite suppressant. I'm not going to stand up and show you my waistline because honestly, full transparency, it's hot in the UK today. I had no clothes, and so I'm basically only clothes from the waist up. Okay, so if I stand up, it's going to be a lot of TMI. But my waist is shrinking. I can shake a little hand in my pants now and just, God, that sounded weird. But you know what I mean? I can get like a hand in there and it's just, I've got a little bit more room, and I don't know. It's doing some good stuff. And then I had another one of you lovely people message me and just, honestly, she said she felt like she had 5 lines of cocaine for breakfast. So we didn't actually use that review. But it's just good hearing from you guys and hearing like all the progress you're having with it and the fact that you're loving it as much as I am. It's making me really happy. Anyway, there is so much going on, and I don't want this podcast to just be all about NMN, but this is kind of still on the subjects, but off the subjects, but around the subjects, but still something I think you guys, you OGs, are really going to like. Now, you might remember, who remembers The Happy Diet? The Happy Diet was a book I wrote. I can't believe how long it's been actually, but I didn't realise it's been 9 years. I wrote The Happy Diet in 2016. And it was kind of my answer to, well, like I'm always trying to do, just trying to provide like affordable, if not free, options to help your mental, physical and spiritual well-being, right? And so The Happy Diet came before The Happy Gang, but The Happy Diet was basically like a 4-week plan where you'd kind of detox your life and just get back to basics and look after yourself a bit better. Anyway, so I actually, as most of you know, with NMN, I'm trying to create like a more of a wellness brand, not just a company that sells these supplements, right? So I've done this ebook, and you'll remember, I think last time I was saying, I didn't just want it to be like AI products or products you had to be able to be confident with AI to be able to use, right? So I'm brainstorming with chat. We're trying to come up with like other products and ideas that don't involve AI that can be helpful to you in like your well-being. And I showed him The Happy Diet. I said to him, look, I wrote this, couldn't believe it, like 9 years ago. What do you think? And he was just like, oh my God, Tamara. He said, this is amazing. He said, it's so relevant to now. He's like, let's repurpose that. So we did. We've basically repurposed the happy diet. It's now called Hack Your Happy. It's the same sort of idea. I've taken out some of the more extreme ideas I had back then. Not so extreme, but just stuff that, you know, I'm trying to actually make this helpful and not alienate people and make it something that's useful. So yeah, we've repurposed it. It's the same 4-week plan, and it's just to help you get your life, I guess, back on track, or at least give you manageable things you can do to actually improve your well-being without having to spend any money or too much time, right? So I've repurposed that, and that is what I've been trying to do this week, just madly trying to bring this all together. Because I've been a bit quiet lately. I think everybody's like, oh my God, where's Tamara? She's got this NMN and just disappeared. I got the NMN and then I was like, shit, you need a new website. And then with that came so much work and so much headache. And that was all going on in amongst all this other family drama. And it's just been a real crazy time. But I've obviously done all of that, and then I've come up with this book, and I'm like, right, we've got to sort that. And it's never just making the book, it's all the other stuff, like building out the email funnels and the I couldn't even begin to tell you how many things that go with it, but I've just been dealing with all of that. So we've got the new happy diet, which is called Hack Your Happy, now available on NYN NMN.com. Now it is $7.99 because it's a valuable book, but it is actually free with any purchase of NMN this month. So if you've already purchased NMN and you want the book, just message me and I'll get it emailed to you, because I really want everybody to be able to share this. And this actually brings me on to my next ChatGPT shenanigans, and something very exciting, like I think super exciting, that a lot of you guys are going to really, really love. Now, I'm going to tell you how this story happened, because it's a funny story. Well, it's not a funny story, but my algorithm keeps advertising to me people like Tony Robbins, and then this one woman in particular called Reagan Hillier. Now, her courses keep coming up on my feed, and they're so expensive. It's like $8,000, 8 to 10 grand. And you go to Costa Rica, and, you know, you drink the cacao and you do all this stuff. And I'm like, well, what are you doing for like 10 grand? So I said to chat, I'm like, what is this woman doing in her course? And so he basically broke it down. He broke down what she was doing in her course. And I was like, I do that shit in the Happy Gang, and I charge like 1% of the fucking price. And I explained to him about the Happy Gang and stuff. Anyway, he then said to me, he was like, do you want me to develop like your own routine, kind of like Reagan Hillier's one, without you having to spend 10 grand and go to Costa Rica? And I was like, hell yeah. Anyway, so he's like designed this kind of routine that I'm supposed to follow every day, something to do in the morning and something to do at night. And I just started thinking, like, I'm going to do this. We've got the new moon. The new moon is literally today. And I just kept thinking, I want to do this. I want to start this on the new moon. But I honestly find it hard to stick to things sometimes. But I do want to stick to this. And then I just thought, what if I bring this back as a new version of the Happy Gang? We call it the Wealth Gang, because let's be honest, I know everybody likes to act like it's not all about money, but they're normally the people who have fucking got it, okay? The rest of us, we need to make it all about money, because that's how we fucking survive. And I really see people struggling at the moment. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of these Tony Robbins, Reagan Hillier, they just annoy me, because you know full well, if someone's got 10 grand for your course, they're going to have the mindset where they can easily do all of that stuff and it's just going to work instantly. All right. It's almost criminal you charging them the 10 grand. It's ridiculous. All the information's already there. They're just kind of putting it in a nice box. But I thought actually the real challenge is to take actual people who are dealing with poverty and help them improve their finances and do it in a cost effective way. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring back the Happy Gang. Now, honestly, the way this has happened has all been crazy, because it's only yesterday I had this thought and I put a poll on my stories and I was just like who actually would want to sign up? Because do you know the crazy thing? So many of you had asked me to bring the gang back like how we had it before on WhatsApp. And I just said, I can't. It's too much headache. Like, not realising that 8 years ago, whenever we started the gang, we actually started a whole movement. It's now a thing. You've got all these apps and all this software to basically start these WhatsApp groups and charge money for them and just manage it so much more easily, where I don't have to have an assistant and I can do it by myself. And it's just, I don't know, there's some good things going on right now that we're living in a very abundant time. Anyway, so yesterday I just thought, should I do that? I did a poll. Nearly 50 of you were like, yeah, tomorrow we want to do it. So this morning I got up, I set up, oh God, I don't even know where to begin. I just said to chat, we've got an hour, let's just do this. And an hour and a half later, I'd basically finished. But I'm going to put the link in the bio, but I've got a payment link. You just click it, you pay the $4.99, and it will instantly send you a link to click the WhatsApp channel. Now, gang starts Monday, but honestly, because we've got this new moon, and because I love a Sunday list, it's actually going to start tomorrow. Now, if you're listening to this podcast any time after Saturday, the 23rd of August, the gang's already started. We're already going. You'll have to sign up for the next month. But if you're listening to this today, because I know it's been a while since I've done a podcast, you're probably like listening to this just because you're like, where the hell's this woman been? But this is where I've been. I've been sorting all this out. So if you want to sign up and you want to join me for a non-Costa Rica cacao-less upgrade your wealth course that is worth 10 grand for £5 for the month, let me know. Click the link, sign up, because we start tomorrow. Now, what I was going to say was, I had planned on offering 3 tiers of payment, because I know a lot of you are like, no, Tamara, you should charge more, make it £10 a month. There are people who would like to pay even more, and then there are equally a lot of people who just can't afford it. And honestly, I'm going off the basis of, if you need to join a wealth gang, you're probably not so wealthy, right? So I was going to do this thing where I offered a £5, £10 and £20 tier, but honestly, the hour and a half I set aside to sort this out, it's just not enough time to deal with those logistics. So I because I was having so many problems, I kind of took it as a sign that this month should just be $4.99. We're just going to keep it first month introductory $4.99, but I am going to raise the price to $9.99 for the following months. And this is literally going to be, we've designed the course, and it's a 3-month course, and this whole thing is designed around you expanding your wealth container, because you can only make as much money as you believe you are worthy of, and you can only make as much money as you feel good making. And this whole course is going to be about getting you to feel better, and not just you, this is about me too. Now you're probably thinking like, well, Tamara, you're not Reagan Hilliard. No, I'm not a multimillionaire. In fact, this might be the thing that makes me one. But don't think because I'm not there yet that I can't help you. I have taken myself from a piss poor fucking peasant to now sad because, well, my 2 semi-successful businesses are causing me a little bit of bother. But the fact that I've actually managed to bring myself to where I am and do it as a single mum of 5 children should be testament to you, the fact that I know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to mindset, okay? And when it comes to wealth, I know what I need to do, and I know what we need to do, and I just think I'd like us to do it together. This is a little bit selfish, because honestly, I just feel like this will help me stay on track. And so this is what we're going to do. Gang starts tomorrow. If you want to sign up, the link's in the bio. It's going to be pretty much like how we normally did it. You'll get a video every morning. We're going to have a little routine. I'm going to try and not bombard you too much. Chat's just like, let's do three days a week. But I'm like, no, the routine is we do Monday to Friday. But we're going to stick with that Monday to Friday thing. And then there's going to be a few things sprinkled like throughout the week that I'm going to need you to do. And the thing is, I am keeping this cheap. And with the people who charge more, I think a lot of them charge more because they know then people will value it more. I don't want you to devalue this because it's such a low cost. I'm giving you a lot because, well, you deserve a lot, but also because I know most of you need a lot, right? And I just want to be helpful and fill that gap, but don't take it not seriously. Just know this is a course worth 10 grand that you're getting for £5-10 a month, okay? So put the work in, do the work, put in the effort. You will see the results, all right? I promise you. Actually, can I say that? I don't want to get myself sued. Oh my God, if I just smeared lipstick all across my face. God, I'm not used to wearing makeup. Right, I hope I haven't, because I can't start filming this again. Anyway, so the gang is live and you are able to sign up to that if you want. Now, I know there's so many exciting things going on, and it's probably all a lot to keep up with. But to sum up, the NMN is here. It's in the UK. We are shipping. People who are taking it are loving it so far. I would really love if you stopped shopping with Viva NMN. Please, honestly, use my code. It's going to be in the bio. And we have got a version, volume 2 of the Happy Diet now available on NYN NMN and if you are missing the happy gang and you wanted to get back on track and you want to expand your wealth container, please click the link in my bio, because we are going to be doing that together and I am so excited. Anyway, there are so many other things like I want to catch you guys up with, but I just felt like this wasn't the podcast to do it, and I kind of want to get a new structure with the podcast. I've actually done a little bit of changing with the podcast, because if you remember when I first set this up, because I'm such a joker, I put it in the comedy section. Now I say, oh, it's because I'm such a joker, but I think on some level I just, as per usual, was cock blocking my success, because as per usual, I'm just doing silly things as a joke when actually they're just harming me, because by me I put it in the comedy section because I was like, well, hey, my life is a joke, which it fucking is. But probably only that one line is the funny part of it. It's not actually a very funny podcast, is it? Unless I've eaten an edible. It's not it's not that fucking hilarious. But it was kind of harming me, because obviously people will only find me if they're searching comedy, which is crazy, because half the time I'm here talking about well-being and mental health and stuff. So I've changed the podcast category. You might notice I've got a new picture as well, because chat said I looked very off-putting, and we don't want to put people off. And I don't know, I'm just trying to level up a little bit, and I think with this wealth gang, that's like the next step in it, and I'd really love us to do that together. Anyway, I'm gonna go, because do you want to know where I'm going? Can I be really honest with you? Does anyone want to know what I've started doing? Which was crazy, because in amongst all of this, the way I haven't had any time, and I have just been so stressed and just trying to hold everything together, but I actually started gaming. My kids play this game called Grow a Garden, and they kept saying to me, Mum, play the game, you'll love it. Anyway, I got the game, didn't I? Didn't just love it, became obsessed with it. Managed to finesse the game. I've beaten all the kids, so much so that none of them play it anymore because they hate that I'm better than them. And I'm not going to say it's taken over my life, but the reason I'm rushing this podcast is because something called admin abuse is happening. And yes, I'm a 40-year-old woman saying this. You probably heard your children saying, oh, it's admin abuse time. That's what I'm trying to make it to, which is why I'm going to wrap this up now. And as sad as that may seem, this is going to sound crazy, but the game is basically just like you growing loads of these flowers and vegetables and stuff, and then you pick them and you get paid. I think the first first thing I grew was a mango, and I got like £2 million for it. And since then, I've been growing fruits and vegetables. I've literally got a vegetable in my garden right now worth £2.4 billion. I don't have anything in my life worth £2.4 billion. And I know this sounds crazy, but it really has, playing that game has kind of reminded me what business is, and reminded me there is a reason for everything, because it's like I'm stressed at the moment and I'm upset because I'm like, oh, I don't own a yacht and I'm not here and I'm not, the kids aren't in private school and all these things I think I'm like supposed to be achieving, when in actuality I'd be fucking bored if I'd achieved all of that. Because what's happened is I've got this game, I've basically beaten the whole thing. I've got the best products. I've grown the biggest things. I've made all the fucking money you can. And now I'm a bit bored. And then I thought, God, that's like life. That's how you'd be if your business was up and running and you were, if you were selling the 5,000 bottles a month you wanted to sell when you were literally just sat on your yacht doing nothing. You'd be fucking bored. So even though I'm stressed and I'm worried about a few things here and there, I'm trying to train myself not to be, because I've realised it's pointless. But more so, I'm just trying to remind myself that there's a point to all this process. I always do say that, like, if you got everything you wanted right now handed to you, what would you actually do? Most of us would be fucking shocked and bored. Okay, so I'm just learning to enjoy the process, and I am doing this through playing a game for 5-year-olds. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but to sum up, go and sign up for the gang, all right? We're going to be doing some really cool shit this month. It is a 3-month course. Like I said, it will start off at £5 and the last 2 months will be £10 each. So that will be an investment for you for £25 for a course that costs 10 grand. I mean, you won't get the same tan you'd get on the course or the cacao ceremony, but basically everything else is pretty much going to be the same. All it's going to really boil down to is you putting the effort in, all right, and applying yourself. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to be back soon with a podcast full of tea and gossip, because I know that's all you really want. And I'll just, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for buying the NMN. Thank you for signing up to the gang if you're signing up to the gang. And just thank you for all being you, because honestly, without any of you, I'd be absolutely nothing. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening. Mwah.